This is a tough message to hear, but let me explain. You know, I've heard that, there's so many people that just throw a fit if they don't get what they want. But in all reality, if you don't work for what you want, then you won't appreciate what you've got. And that's what causes ungratefulness, and you end up losing control of your life. But karma is real. Like, learn to work on respect and work on and then work on getting what you want, because that's the only way you can get. And it's been that way for years, for decades, for centuries. And yet, too many of us are caught in a race of conformity, and they may not even realize it, but the fact is they spend money they don't have to buy things they don't need to impress people they don't even like. Like you saw about a pair of shoes. You buy them, then what? Not in fashion a week or a month later. You buy those clothes that you saw, then again, not in fashion a week or a month later. People do all these things because they want to be cool. Well, you know what? That's not what authenticity is about. Authenticity is about defining your own means, knowing how to go within those means, and learn to accept yourself. Because if you work for what you want, you'll end up appreciating what you have already. And it just and I've been working hard, been improving over the years, but attitude kind of gets in the way of myself, and you gotta control your own attitude. If you're gonna do something, just do it. Do or do not. There is no try. And people like around in my generation and younger, they don't appreciate what they got because it's out. It's not the trending one, and then because it's not trending, because it's not the latest trend anymore. And all those rich people who are spoiling their kids, you can't just you're not preparing them for what real life is really about. Society infers that you gotta have all these clothes, the latest clothes, the shoes, the latest must-haves, and just to live in the ultimate lifestyle. But they advertise that we need to have these things to make us happier, when we don't realize that if we take things out of our lives, we make it simpler. But why do you want all these things in the first place? Do you want them because somebody else already has them, or because you want to compare yourself to someone else, or you just wanted to make people feel jealous? You're letting yourself down for that. And I know, and I know that you're trying to have some friends and some family to appreciate you, but authenticity is a subjective matter to yourself. You must save you must be your own hero, because sometimes those you can't live without can live without you. And but this is my life. I need to work towards what I want in my life, and what I want in the long run, not for having these things right now. I mean, in society infers that guys have you've got to have these trucks and all, just to be happy and look to have the latest trucks, and then to roar down the road with do circles around do circles, do donuts around the road, and do a bunch of these things. But if you don't have, if you can't afford a vehicle, just take the bus. Get a bus pass. You need to understand these things, so that then you find out that what life is really about. Remember, we're in this together. We're not alone. I wanted to add something to another tough message that I want you to hear. But, as I said before, and I'll say it again, but if we don't work for what we want, then we won't. Then how can we feel? Then how can we feel grateful for what we have? How can we appreciate what we have? You're always going to keep expecting everything to be given to you. Well, let me tell you something. It doesn't work that way, and I can say that from the outset. You've got to work for what you want. You've got to work towards honesty, integrity. You gotta, it's just, and I know I'm guilty of this too, but I want to share my experience with you, if you might be watching this video. But, I read an article about how a disabled mother just, her and her husband were just out on a job. I read about how she can't even afford to meet her basic needs because her income. And, I don't understand how people should be, people with disabilities should be doing all this stuff. Just, if you can't find anything, if you can't find an affordable home, move to another city. Move to a smaller town where they won't, move to somewhere where it's cheaper. At least that's all I can say. We're not trees. We can move anywhere. Anyways, I know I need to work on the things I want. For the things I want. And it's going to take a long time before I can get those rewards. And first off, I'm going to start by not lying about something. And secondly, just put out the effort to do things I know I should be doing. Because and some parents just are so diehard that they want their kid to win, and that doesn't. Diehard parenting is such a is not the greatest for I can say that diehard parenting is just really bad because it puts so much strain on the child that they feel like they're not enough and that they can't relate to their family, to their parents. I just want, and when we complain about a pain, a strain, or any situation in our lives, we stop ourselves from change. And complaining is contagious. We end up giving it to everyone else around us. And remember, we need to be careful what we say to someone today, because we may not have tomorrow to take it back.